All right, let's take an example that how we do pre-market analysis by from end to end, from understanding the market context and then shortlisting these stocks and everything. So now, just to make everyone understand this, the blue line is the 20 EMA, and then this is 50 SMA, and this gray is the 9, and then the red is the 200. So now if you look at it closely from the market perspective, the daily chart, we can clearly see that the market was starting selling off in the April 2024. And I chose randomly because if we do recently, then it is easier for everyone to guess and understand. So I just randomly picked May 2024. So if you look at the April 2024, there's a nice sell-off happening, and now it is bouncing. So we see there was a straight push down, market move back up, then came down, move back. So it's making now, if you look at the market from the market context perspective, we are seeing that market is making the lower higher lows. So low, high, low, then higher, then low. And now there's a third day, market was just pushing up. So there is a gap here, and I see gap here, and now the market is opening today. Uh, we can't see the what price, but likely I guess this the market is also opening either the flat, or when you're gonna see the pre-market data, we can identify. But from the daily chart, this is a limitation for this tool, so we can say. And I don't want to see first before recording, then I will get my biasness. So I'm looking at it first time as well. So for me, this chart looks a little extended right now. Is really 3 days of gap up, and if it's a May 7th, and if it's open flat or something, either in any respect, this is extended. So now look at the 30 minutes chart, and I will open the pre-market data. Uh, so now if you look at the pre-market, so yesterday market closed here at 516, and today market opening at 517.55. So again this is gap up. So market extended, this is a gap up, so there is another gap up. And if you look at the Nasdaq, so now if you look at the Nasdaq is a similar composition, making sell-off, higher lows, third gap up. And if we open the pre-market data, we can see on the 30 minutes chart what's happening here as well. Just waiting for the data. So right now we clearly see, meantime the Nasdaq is opening, I'm going to open the Tesla. All right, see if you look at the Nasdaq now, Nasdaq is also gapping up in the pre-market, and now it is third gap up as well. So now look at the stock, QQ, the Tesla, I shortlisted. So now what we saw that the Tesla had immense sell-off pressure, retested close to 140, gap up, another gap up, retest is 200, and now after this big candle, 1, 2, 3, 4 days of red days, and now it is try to move back a new high on the May 6th, but unfortunately it was not able to break that. So if we put the lines here, so definitely the there is a resistance on this level, there is a daily resistance on the high of the day before, there is a resistance on the low of that day, the prior day, and then this is the 9 EMA could be an important bounce level, but essentially what we're seeing that even that sell-off happened, but Tesla did not have yet closed the gap. So based on that, we can clearly see there is the sell-off pressure, but overall moving averages are moving up. There's 9 crossed over 50, but 20 EMA is still below the 50s. So still the moving averages need to catch up to change the trend. So despite the price action is on the top side, but it seems like it's close to the resistance. So now, how are we gonna play this? I have till now, I can only see the context. Market is extended. Tesla made the extended move. Last few days of sell-off. Tried to go back higher, but rejected the 187 yesterday. Now we need to see whether today it break this 184 above and make the new high, or it's come to. If it's below 184, it's likely be between the 184 and 182 is a range day, and the moment it breaks 182.40 is likely be a retesting of these levels. So now just let's go back and look at the 30 minutes chart. So now when we look at the 30 minutes chart with the pre-market data, we can clearly see that even the yesterday where we are saying that it retested the 187, there's only first 30 minutes of buying, and there is a support here around the low of the day, which is around 182, and then move back up. So definitely a lot of selling pressure came in. There was no new buyer coming in over 187. And if you look at that little uh, 30 minutes, little multiple days, we can clearly see there is no big buying happening here. And now in the 3 days range, uh, right now we're on the upper range of 182, and the lower range is around 175, 177. We have a psychological level of 180, and yesterday low is 182. With all these, I'm going to keep 30 minutes on a one screen, move the Tesla on the 1 minute here, and likely our approach would be the strategy. Now when I say, okay, what is my strategy? So given this context, Tesla is weak after the biz bunks, market is extended, Tesla is trying to move back up, but it doesn't have a direction. So what now I'm looking at it, I have two possible scenarios in mind. If Tesla comes and reclaim 184.80, I would try to go breakout trades with 184 to 187 level. But if the stock breaks the previous day low, which is already broke in the pre-market, and if we get 182.61 breakdown here, we could have stop over 182, 183, and that could be our risk. And with the first target would be the low of the pre-market, and then continuation, which is the daily level, 177, which we have marked. So now I'm going to go on the other chart, the 1 minute, and let's see that how we're going to trade. So now I don't know what is going to happen. I have two possible scenarios. I'm looking as a strategy is that gap and go, given it is a weak stock. So right now the gap is down. There's a continuation of sell-off. I'm looking for either opening range breakdown or opening range breakout if it's able to claim 184. If it's not able to claim 184, then my bias is shift to the downside, and I'm going to look at the level to level downside play. So right now, before the market opens, we see there is a nice push up in the Tesla, and it's just trying to retest our 182 level, and let's see that whether it able to keep this 182, which is happened to be a prior day low and the pre-market low, and if it's not, then we look for the short opportunity in opening drive. So now I'm going to play on a 1x speed so we can see and learn. All right, so right now we're looking at the first minute, and I'm just going to close this pre-market data. So first minute, again, there is a rejection over 183, and you can see here there is a moving averages, which has rejected the 183, still above our support level or the breakout level of the pre-market or prior day low, which is 182.40. So no trade for us because it is below. If you look at it, it is it is way below than the breakout range, but very close to the breakdown range. And we saw a nicer volume over 1 million shares. And we see here right now is a topping tail, no trades yet. And this is the first trade. With this volume, we see a breakdown trying to, so see this is tail, and on the retest, if it's not able to claim, I'm going to go short. Okay, so it's not able to claim back. Did you see that it's try to retest? And in this case, if it's able to claim, our risk will be the high of the day, which is 183.21. And our profit target, the first profit target would be the 180, which we have noticed is a psychological level and the pre-market low. And the second target would be the 177 on the daily chart, which we mark. So right now our strategy is working. Opening drive, opening range breakdown, clear rejection, trying to break out, but clear rejection. This is 182.40, which we have marked the level, which is prior to low. It's below that. If it's able to reclaim, we can do not need to even wait for it. We can even uh, reduce the risk. But I think we're in a good position. Tesla is weak. Market is extended in 30 minutes. If you look at this together, it's really pushing down now. So we have clearly a $1 risk, but we have a potential to go at least $2, which is the 180 is a psychological level, and also a level here which had prior bounce in the pre-market. So we definitely going to look at the 180 level for the first partial. So right now we're moving very nicely in a very nice trade. Stock is really weak. Right now we haven't seen any difficulty in the Tesla to break down, trying to reclaim anything. There's no there's no buying at all if you look at it. All right, so we're very close 180.60, and if we see there is some buying happening around 180.50, we might take a little bit off as well, because right now if you look at it, it is straight down there. So I'll put there the 200, and if we see this candle, how does it end? And if we get the higher bits, then we can just take the partial. But right now we don't see any bid at this point. Look at the volume started coming in, but not really any significant buying. Cap. Okay, 180.650. I'm gonna see if it we see a psychological level 180.50. If we see a bounce there, okay, there is no bounce. It immediately sell off. So we're gonna go with the. So now we see a bounce on the 180.50. I'm gonna take some off here because 180.50 could be a psychological half whole number, half $50 number, and usually you can see a big bounce here, and we can see the price is having difficulty. So there's no harm in taking profit. The next target is the 180 is approaching. I'm going to take another 50 shares out. So it's close to 180. Let's see. Still have 30 seconds, 10 seconds in the time clock. Okay, 22. Time's up. And I'm going to take the partial because after the 5 minutes over, there might be a change in direction as well. Because if you look at it, it's almost a $5 move. So I took some off but we are still in the good shape. Look at this, it's still moving. And see, the way I'm looking at it, as if I'm looking at the first time, and that's more the reality is that how you manage the trade in it. We had the clear risk management here, 1 point loss, and we are almost double the risk now. So it's now breaking 180. Uh, we can take a little bit more off, and now 25 shares, and now you can move to the any other idea you have. And if you don't have any other idea, maybe you can just call it a day. You have a beautiful trade. You don't need to trade too much, right? You manage to have the risk. You managed to take the risk at the right time and you took the profit. Now you let it run your remaining shares and see if it can reach to this level. And if it reached to this level, you can uh, take it the profit, because even if it go against, it doesn't really gonna impact you anyway because you already up $460 on this trade.